Empty. That's how I felt leaving the theater. Was that how I was supposed to feel? I don't know. Who knows anything in a crime-ridden world like Gotham? A movie that looked so freaking cool and had the coolest guy like ever as the main character made me feel nothing. Empty. Maybe that's what becoming a nocturnal, iron-pumping night stalker does to you. Disables you from feeling a single emotion, even when you're witnessing the coolest, most capable superhero in the universe wreak havoc on working-class criminals. Maybe that's what Gotham has come to. Emptiness. Or it's just what I've come to.
Alright, calm down, Bats. It's not you. I'll explain why you're feeling a bit off about this newest Batman movie. One of the things I've emphasized a lot in all of my Gather articles, which are linked below, is making your story cohesive through thematic connection. We've discussed this in the Fantastic Mr. Fox video, talking about how important it is that you make your individual character struggles a part of a broader philosophical struggle. In my Trial of the Chicago 7 article, I explained why it's important to put your characters in situations that test their beliefs, which if done well should relate to the theme. A great example of both of these story elements working is in the pitting of Batman against the Joker in Chris Nolan's The Dark Knight. In the movie, Batman fights for his beliefs, that order and empathy are desired by and inherent to the citizens of Gotham, while Joker fights for his conflicting beliefs, that without enforcement of order, people are chaotic, selfish, and lawless. This dynamic between the characters allows Joker to push Batman into situations that confront and challenge his beliefs head on. What this does is make the movie's philosophy or theme build to a point. It also increases the stakes of the characters in each scene, since both their material selves and their philosophical beliefs are always being put to the test. In Matt Reeves' The Batman, the movie establishes what Batman believes pretty quickly. This is done through voiceover, so quite literally, Batman tells us what he believes. That he wants to clean up the corrupt, crime-ridden city of Gotham, and that he is doing so through vengeance, using fear, anger, and punishment to enforce his moral code. And by the end of the movie, also espoused through voiceover, we understand what Batman's arc is supposed to be about. A transformation from vengeance to a symbol of hope. This introduction of our protagonist's beliefs could be fine through voiceover, but only if the situations the script puts the protagonist in are testing those core beliefs. In The Batman, Batman's belief that he must save whatever salvageable parts of Gotham's soul that he can through vengeance are almost never tested through any kind of circumstance. An example of how subtle these philosophical conflicts can be in a scene is in the pilot of Breaking Bad. When we first see Walter White teaching his high school chemistry class, it feels like we're observing the normal classroom dynamic of a teacher desperately trying to get students to listen, only for the students to be completely uninterested in anything he has to say. In reality, though, this scene tells us so much more about the themes of Breaking Bad by informing us what Walter believes and what he wants. When Walt is giving his all-in lecture, trying desperately to get any students to listen or engage him, with complete failure, it shows us how Walt believes the world treats him, as unimportant. When two students flirting in the back disrupt class and Walt attempts to punish and embarrass them,
is there something wrong with your table?
only for the student to disrupt the class more.
Okay. Ionic bonds. Are you done?
It speaks to what Walt wants: control, respect. So, knowing this, what does Walt believe? He believes that he has no control over his life, that he has no respect, and that he needs both of those things in order to make his life better. Boom. All of that in a seemingly inconsequential scene. That is good storytelling. In the official version of The Batman, Batman says he's vengeance, and then the first Riddler murder happens. From Riddler's first murder, we know Riddler's intentions. He's seeking vengeance on the corrupt elite of Gotham. Batman takes it upon himself to investigate the murder, try to catch the Riddler, and work with the police, all because, well, I guess you don't really know. The movie hints that Batman is motivated by the fact that Riddler killed his first victim on the anniversary week of Batman's father's death. But what does that have to do with what Batman really wants? Batman can't really believe he's vengeance if he's already protecting the corrupt people that made Gotham a slum, who, because of their corruption, would then, from Batman's perspective, actually be the same people that contributed to the death of his parents. By doing this, Batman is practicing redemption and forgiveness, not vengeance.
Let's go kill that son of a bitch. This creep too, let's finish this.
No.
This lack of deeper intent from Bruce Wayne makes the Batman not actually about anything other than what Batman is doing in each scene. This is because the external conflicts or circumstances that the characters find themselves in do not reflect or challenge the internal conflicts that they're supposed to be facing. So what could have been done to make more of these scenes meaningful to Batman's character and achieve the arc of vengeance to symbol of hope? One way would be by making the Riddler and Batman compete for the same goal. In The Anatomy of Story, John Truby states, "It is only by competing for the same goal that the hero and the opponent are forced to come into direct conflict, and to do so again and again throughout the story." In the official version of the Batman, the Riddler and Batman are hardly competing at all. Riddler actually believes that Batman is his teammate, helping him in his goal, and Batman is just trying to find out who the Riddler is. The problem with this dynamic is that the conflict between the two does nothing to explore the themes or philosophical conflict of the story, vengeance versus hope. So that begs the question, what scenario could we put these characters in to make them compete for the same goal, while also exploring philosophical conflict? We could start by changing one major reveal in the movie. The one where Batman finds out that Riddler is waiting to reveal the Rat, who helped stage a fake drug bust on Salvatore Maroni in cooperation with the heads of Gotham PD. This reveal takes place near the third act of the movie. But that reveal doesn't change anything about our understanding of the story's theme or its characters. It just happens. If instead we make the movie start off with Batman investigating this Rat on his own, only to realize that Riddler is on the loose, killing all of his next targets of interrogation before he can get to them, we would give Batman a direct reason to be involved in this investigation. Each of Riddler's kills would be a direct conflict with Batman. And most importantly, when the Riddler tells Batman that he is also vengeance, the audience will understand how alike the two actually are. That's the core of our change. But we can do more. If we really want to hammer home Batman's vengeful beliefs, we could add in scenes of Batman brutalizing corrupt officials as a form of vigilante punishment. And we should also make sure that Batman makes at least one major decision in pursuit of punishment over the greater good. By changing these story elements, we make Batman's beliefs reflected in his actions, and we contrast our characters as they chase the same goal of vengeance, which then explores the story's themes. Another change we can make would be raising the philosophical stakes of the major twist in the story. The twist I'm referring to is when Batman finds out that his father, Thomas Wayne, paid Carmine Falcone to intimidate a journalist that was running a smear piece on Batman's mother, Martha Wayne. Matt Reeves said the purpose of this twist was for Batman to find out that his parents were not the angels he thought they were, that they actually contributed to the corruption of Gotham. The problem is that what Batman actually learns about his father from this reveal does not reflect the drastic realization that Reeves wanted him to have. Let's describe this reveal so we can pinpoint exactly where it faltered in its goal. At first, the Riddler broadcast that Thomas Wayne paid to get the journalist killed in order to save his mayoral campaign. But then, Batman finds out that his father didn't do this. In fact, he learns that Thomas Wayne was only interested in protecting Martha rather than his mayoral campaign, that the journalist was on the mob boss Maroni's payroll, and Thomas Wayne only paid Falcone to scare the journalist, not kill him. Essentially, Thomas Wayne was not corrupt, and his only mistake was that in a selfless moment of weakness, in order to protect not himself but his wife, Thomas Wayne paid Falcone only to scare the corrupt journalist. And for the cherry on top, Thomas Wayne was so selfless and so unconcerned with his political ambitions that he told Falcone that he would tell the police what happened, which would have ruined his mayoral campaign and sent him to jail. Now, I want you to ask yourself if this telling of events makes you believe that Batman sees his father in a new light. To me, it doesn't, and that's because it doesn't challenge Batman's beliefs about vengeance. So what can we do to make the twist challenge Batman? How can we make this reveal about Thomas Wayne force Batman to reconsider his worldview, setting up his transformation into a symbol of hope? The first thing we should do is remind ourselves what Batman believes at the beginning of the movie and what he needs to realize in order to grow. Batman believes he's vengeance, and that by enforcing order through vengeance, he can rid Gotham of the crime and corruption that plagues it. In order to grow, he must realize there are negative, adverse consequences to vengeance that fuel the city's problems rather than solve them. Now that we've reminded ourselves of Batman's worldview, we must think about what information might attack that view. What will bring it into conflict with another belief? If Thomas Wayne had actually paid Falcone to kill that journalist, it would make Batman reconsider his view of his father, but not necessarily challenge his beliefs. But what if Thomas Wayne had made that decision from a place of vengeance? Let's rewrite it that way. In this version, let's say that journalist wasn't running a smear piece on Martha Wayne, but instead was publishing an expose on the corruption of Martha Wayne's parents and Thomas Wayne's parents, implying that the Wayne campaign would bring no change to Gotham, only more of the same old oligarchic corruption. If this was the piece the journalist was running, but he was still on Maroni's payroll, we could understand why Thomas Wayne would be angered by this. It'd give him a perfectly understandable reason to want revenge. So, in an attempt to protect his mayoral campaign against corruption and take vengeance on those trying to take him down, he orders a hit on the journalist. Then, riddled with guilt, he expresses regret to Falcone, and Falcone kills him for it. In this version of the story, Thomas Wayne would have brought about Batman's orphanhood because he took vengeance, and because he became so angered in his attempt to fight corruption that he became corrupt himself. Batman would be forced to ask what path he'd be going down if he keeps making decisions based in vengeance. He would be forced to reckon with the idea that if he operates from a place of vengeance, he would only become as corrupted as the people he's fighting, just as his father became. And most importantly, Batman might hurt the people he loves in unimaginable ways, just like Thomas Wayne did as a consequence of his vengeance. If this happened, there would be consequences for the actions and beliefs of both Batman and his parents. By making either of these changes, or both, we make Batman's decision to be a symbol of hope, to abandon his identity as vengeance, have tangible effects, changing the way Batman acts, and therefore make the philosophical conflict impactful. Remember, this is not the only way to make the Batman story stronger. Just an example of how you can use philosophical conflict or exploration of theme and character belief to craft a story with something to say, and with deep internal and external conflicts. There are a lot of other ways to make Batman's transformation of an angry, vengeful vigilante into a hopeful symbol of a better tomorrow more believable than it is in the current film. But all of them should make Batman's beliefs reflect his actions and force Batman into situations that challenge his beliefs, making him reckon with who he really is, who he wants to be, and who he needs to be. When writing your characters, think about how you've changed in your own life. Our perspectives almost never grow or change without them being challenged directly. Whether your story is about a chemistry teacher becoming a meth cook or a depressed vigilante beating people up in a bat costume, challenging your character's perspectives will make your story feel relatable, meaningful, and human.
Whoa, let me get this straight. You're saying the only way this movie could have been good is if you made my mommy and dad, my mother and father, bad guys.
No, Batman, I said that there's many ways to make the script better. That was just one.
You sick son of a bitch.
Batman, the purpose of the video was to use the Batman script to show how we can improve story through...
It's time to do what I do best.
What?
Beat up working class criminals.
Wait, I'm not a criminal.
Are you working class?
I mean, I work.
Good enough. Once again, Batman has cleaned the streets, protected the innocent from yet another criminal. Remember, don't subscribe, don't comment, dislike the video. This video blows really hard. Batman out.